video is part of the Sweet Summertime Open playlist. Brenda, Amanda, and Shantell do this every month, and more about that later on in the video. Rainbow popsicle garland. So we're starting with glue and scissors, Magic Fly acrylic paint purchased from Amazon, some burlap also purchased on Amazon, Dollar Tree flip-flop for a template, and 2 cereal boxes to cut out the popsicle shape. I always keep some poster letters, so I'm spelling out the word summer for each popsicle. So we're doing 6 popsicles altogether. I double up the cereal boxes because each popsicle will have a brown side and the printed side will be in the middle with the popsicle stick. The popsicle stick is just jumbo popsicle sticks cut in half. Quick cuts as opposed to one long cut will prevent splitting of the wood. I just use regular school glue, clear glue, to glue the popsicles together with the stick in between. I'm just doing a little bit of measurements, and I'm not sure why, because it's pretty easy to eyeball it. But I do want to show you this trick on how to trim the burlap. See, I'm fraying the top to expose the little strings, and then I pick one and I hold the burlap while I pull that one strand out, and it leaves a little line, a visible line, and you cut on that line. And there you have a nice clean cut. I believe it was a Crafting Cousins I saw do that at first. Now each letter is going to be smoothed onto the burlap in about the middle of each little square that I cut out. And it's okay if it's not 100% stuck down, because the paint will help it stick, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I do that for all 6 letters. Again, just finding the middle. Then I'm starting with the red for the letter S. I tap some out, and then I use one of those foam dabbers. And what you want to do is dab around the edges of the letter first, and that actually helps it stick down, and then you can go ahead and fill in the color all around it. And just do the exact same thing for all 6 letters. Again, showing you how I dab all around the edges of the letter first, and then fill in the color. And I actually used 3 dabbers and then washed them out and then reused them to do all 6 letters. So there's the first 3. And then there we have all 6 of them. So we set aside 5 and we work on the first one. I'm going to pull off the letter first. And here I'm like saying to myself, why didn't I do this when it was still tacky? This would have been much easier, but it really wasn't as difficult as I was thinking it would be. And I'm just going to glue down the edges with some hot glue, just regular hot glue. And again, do the same for each letter. I'm showing you the letter U. This one gave me a little bit of trouble. I did have to use a pokey tool to get some of the edges. And I'm just checking that it's centered nicely. I'm going to come in and trim the edges off. And I also added a little bit of rope. I don't think I show it, but it just didn't look finished enough for me. So I had some rope that I got at Temu. You'll see in a little bit how I put it around the edges. There we go, right there. Oh, I did show it. And again, just using some hot glue. I just liked how it looked. And those little scissors I also got at Temu, but they weren't like anything fantastic. So I went back to using my regular scissors. And trimming as close to the edges as possible, because I want to just put the rope right on top. And there you have it. All the letters are ready to go. I poked some holes in the top of each popsicle 2 holes. I used a hole punch until I squeezed it and it didn't come back, so I ended up just twisting a pair of scissors, and that was fine. I used some Dollar Tree twine. I threaded it through using some floral wire, like a needle. And I figured out a pattern for some wood beads in between. And the last minute, I decided we needed a couple finger bows. I did every other popsicle. And there you have it. And I'll give you a better look at the final reveal. The playlist theme this month is Sweet Summertime. This month's host is Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. And then our co-hosts are Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and Shantell from Crafty Hints. Their channel links, as well as a link to the playlist, will be in my description box below. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video. Project number 2. Summer Vibes. This is actually a thrift flip. I've had this wood thingy for more than a year. I'm using some chalk paint, these terracotta pots. There's how the wood thing looked when I originally got it. I'm also going to be using some Temu lace ribbon and florals. So this color just isn't working for me. It just looks kind of dingy and dirty. So this is like a lavender pink color, and I'm adding it to a little bit of white, a little bit of water, and I'm going to paint the whole thing. Even inside the little, what do you call that? Like a reservoir? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I kind of overdid it on the distressing part. So I will go back and undistress it before the final reveal. If you would like to see me struggle with my Cricut transfers, now is the time to pay attention. I'm not sure why I have so much trouble. One day I will figure it out. In the meantime, I just use my patience. I pretty much have to hold down everything as I pull up the backing. This is like the hardest part for me. Now, getting it done and pulling the transfer tape off is not as difficult, but this part is the hardest. Especially this transfer, because it had sun rays, and then it had cursive writing, and it also had regular print. So it was a bit of a challenge, but we made it through. What would I do without the pokey tool, right? I think it was the Crafty DIY guy who pointed out that you should be pushing down just the vinyl part and not be rubbing it all over. And so I've been trying to do that. This is Summer Vibes. I was actually looking for Bloom and Grow, but after a while it started to show me a lot of summer things, and I ended up liking this. I changed it so it was all one color. I would have rather it be yellow, but I ran Dollar Tree yellow vinyl through my Cricut, and it literally pieces of the vinyl were coming up. It was a mess. So these are some of the Temu florals that I got. The lavender isn't flocked, but I kind of like the dark green of it. I also got some of this pink lavender, and it's flocked too, so it kind of goes good together. I took the little terracotta pots and put some floral foam in there. I didn't like how they were sitting, so I did glue some tumbling tower box to the bottom. And then I put lace on one and just kind of left it for a while to see if I liked it or not. And then I just did some random little florals. It sort of came off different pieces. I even went to something I had sitting in my house and plucked some flowers out of it. And then just played around, and I like how it looks. I also grabbed some Spanish moss out of one of my items that were already on display. And actually, this is pretty much it for this one. It's a quick little flip, but super pretty. My daughter is already trying to claim it. This is her style. She loves the lavender. and sort of like the old-fashioned vibe it's getting to. I'm so happy that I was finally able to thrift this wooden decor, and you will get a better look at it during the final reveal. Project number 3. Lavender door decor. So this is like a faux wreath, but I thought door decor sounded better. So I have the Team Florals. I have the lavender, plus I have that little bouquet. I have that wooden butterfly cutout. Don't remember where that came from. And then I have this the flat green basket. I think I got like 8 of them for $5 at the thrift store. And then these florals came from Lowe's, where my boyfriend works. And I'm hoping he got a good deal on them, because he brought home a whole bunch of them when I said I liked them. And so this bud that I have here, the lavender colored bud, I just plucked it off a dowel. And I don't even know what it's made of. It's just like soft, but thicker than a regular rose petal. But I thought they were pretty cool. So I have some lavender and some dark red. So the lavender from Timo was actually the inspiration for this. I thought that the dark green of the lavender leaves went good with the dark green of this little basket, even though the critique from my daughter said it was too green. And I'm like, yes, it's green, but she thinks it's too green. So I'm wondering, should I have painted it? What do you guys think? Should I have painted it white or maybe brown? I'm not sure. I kind of got them because I like the green. So this is just an idea. It's not really a how-to or anything like that. The cool thing about the basket is it's inexpensive, and also for the wired flowers, it's so easy to just poke the stems through, and then I like curl the ends so it kind of like comes back into the basket so it doesn't move around so much. So I did want like something colorful, like maybe blue or yellow, and I started coloring the butterfly and kind of got, distracted and gave it a lot more color and a lot more brightness than I really expected or wanted or needed. So I took a baby wipe, and I guess because it was still damp from the chalk marker, the Funsil chalk markers, that it actually kind of rubbed off and it dulled the color, and plus it helped bring all the colors together. And then I just set to doing a dry fit to see what everything looked like. And you'll see me using my floral wire too, because some of the lavender did kind of want to go in places I didn't want it to go. There's my ribbon in the awareness shape, and I scrunch it up and wrap some twine around the middle. Tie it nice and tight in the back. And then I set it down near the lavender rose there to see how it looked. I kind of thought I could just like poke the twine through and tie it in the back, but it actually looked a little sad. And I did come in after and put some hot glue underneath it. And I added that lace because I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for me. Then I grabbed that lace again and made a hanging rope. I thought that would be a nice balance, and I just poked that through and tied a little knot. I kind of like the rusticness of the knot versus the color, because sometimes color can make things seem more modern, and I like a little bit more of a rustic touch. So I lifted up the bow and glued it, and I tried to crowd the butterfly because I didn't like how the butterfly was kind of sticking out. Like there was too much space around it. So I did kind of pull in the flowers a little bit and pulled up the bow. And I like it a lot better like that. And I'm just going to, zhuzh up everything, zhuzh up the bow and everything. Better look at the final reveal.